Thanks so much for joining us at 10. I'm Mark McPherson. Tonight, we're learning more about how human remains are identified after a body was found over the weekend in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. WMTV's Tabitha Bland joins us now. And Tabitha, you talked with an expert in forensic anthropology.
Yeah, I spoke with Dr. Keith Biddle, who manages the UW Parkside Human Identification Lab, and he gave us some insight into the scientific processes that need to take place in order to identify human remains, specifically bones and teeth.
It's not a quick and easy process.
When it comes to identifying human remains, Dr. Keith Biddle says it's a waiting game.
It can still take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to identify the person.
The clock starts ticking when the remains found are confirmed to be human, which is what happened in Two Rivers, the site you see on the screen now. Then anthropologists like Biddle get to work.
We have a lot of different methods that we use and a whole what we call a biological profile of the individual that we have to construct.
Part of that profile is age, which Biddle says is actually easier to nail down the younger the victim is at their time of death.
The human skeleton and human teeth grow and develop and emerge at different rates.
Then the handoff back to law enforcement begins.
Once we get the biological profile put together, are going to be matched up against missing persons reports, and there are several databases that law enforcement uses.
Waiting on a tedious scientific process during emotional circumstances can be hard, and Biddle says that patience is key for everyone involved.
Trust us that we never forget that we're trying to identify somebody's brother, somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's friend, somebody's cousin, somebody's mom. These are people. And that is our first priority, is to get these people identified and get them sent home.
Biddle adds that while on television shows DNA analysis and identification appear to move very quickly, it is actually a long and scientifically tedious process in cases like this. In the studio, Tabitha Bland, WMTV 15 News.
Tabitha, thank you. Again, there is no confirmation on who the remains are just yet, but we do know it's been almost 7 months since 3-year-old Elijah Vu went missing in the Two Rivers area. Here's a brief timeline. February 20th, Jesse Vang called 911 to report Vu missing. Vang is the boyfriend of Vu's mom, Katrina Bauer. Vang was brought in for questioning that same day. The next day, on the 21st, Bauer was brought in for questioning, and 5 days after that, Bauer and Vang were charged with child neglect. On March 22nd, Bauer pled not guilty to her charges. On April 17th, Vang also pled not guilty. And on August 7th, Bauer had her bond reduction denied. She's scheduled to be back in court on October 22nd. Vang will be back in court this month on the 27th. And again, on Saturday, human remains were found. Community members in the Wisconsin Dells put up a memorial to honor Elijah Vu in March, and they're still adding to it as they wait to find out if those remains in Two Rivers are his. Photos, flowers, and stuffed animals are still sitting outside the apartment where Vu once lived with his mother. Robert Stenner and Tiffany Veach say they spent a lot of time with him, babysitting him, taking him on walks, and helping feed him and provide diapers. Veach says it's been sad without him, and she's anxious to find out if the remains are his.
It's horrible because right now it's like either it's him or it's not. And I want him to be here to come back so that he can, you know, have someone to take care of him. But on the other hand, if it is him, I want him to be at peace. I mean, he deserves like a funeral.
Veach plans to add more to the memorial while they wait for officials to share more information. And make sure you get the WMTV 15 app to stay up to date with us on this case. It's free to download. We'll send updates straight to your phone.